Alright folks, it's Nathan from KBL Texas Homestead. Want to welcome you back to the channel. It's going to be another garden video. Today we're back in the garden and we're building some trellises for our beans and our peas and maybe our tomatoes if we get to there. But we're going to do the beans and peas for sure. We got some climbing beans and some climbing peas, and we're going to show you how to build a simple, quick, easy, use what you got trellis here on the homestead. And as you can see, I've got all my farm animals just out in the side yard, I call it. They're on the west side of the house, grazing back there on some fresh new grass. I put up a temporary hot wire through the yard so we don't have to mow. They get to eat good grass, and we keep on trucking. I don't have to feed them. No grain for a little while, so we'll let them eat that nice grass. But I'll show you here, these are the trellises that I'm talking about, and I'll flip you around here in a minute and show you what they look like, and then we'll go pick some more of this twig that we're using, and I'll show you how to build one. All right, so this is my bean and pea. These are beans here on this side, and I've got 3 trellises built already. And then on this half of the bed is peas. We got some, what were they, sweet peas? Sugar snap peas. Sugar snap peas planted on this side. Now you're gonna say, well, what is that? That right there is not a pea. That is either squash, zucchini, cucumber. What about watermelon? Was there any watermelon seeds in there? Or melon? I don't think that's a melon or watermelon though. I think that's a zucchini or squash or cucumber. This is actually from my compost. We top dress these beds with our homemade compost, and everything sees the compost. So I've got whatever that is growing. I just left it. There's actually some potatoes there. There's a little one there. There's a big one there. There's one behind it growing. And then there's a tomato plant right here growing. You can see this tomato plant here. It's got all these fuzzies on it. This one right here, and that is just from being in the compost. The seed took, it's sprouted, and it's rooted already because I pulled it out the other day by accident. So we put it back in the ground and it's doing good. And then, like I said, these potatoes here are just potato skins. Well, we've skinned our potatoes, thrown them in the compost, and these mother suckers rooted. So I don't know, it's crazy. I've got free food and wasn't even expecting it or trying to grow it. It's just growing, so that's awesome. But back to the story at hand. Here's our trellis system that we're building, and basically all we're doing is burying some vertical rods in the ground. I've got 5 rods across, and then we're weaving side rails alternating through the top rails, and that's how we're building our trellis system. And it's gonna be good thing is the beans and the peas, you know, they don't need a whole lot of weight. They just need something to climb on. So we've got these built. They're about 3 foot tall, and we feel we're gonna need some more length on them. And when I need that, I'll just weave some more risers through what we have and go about halfway down and leave the tops sticking up, and then we'll weave more side rails and just raise it as we need it. But like I said, I've got 3 built. Here's a look at those 3 right now. We're gonna go gather some more sticks, and I'll show you how we're putting them together. Should I look at the camera or not? All right, so these are the sticks that we're using today, and it's underneath my big oak tree, one of my big oak trees in front. And I'll get down here, hopefully you can see, but these sticks here is what I'm using. Now they're already starting to leaf again and sprout, but these are remnants of what I've researched are called Mexican hydrangeas. I don't know the technical name for them, but I've heard them referred to as Mexican hydrangeas. They grow a real pretty big leaf, and they flower pretty similar to a hydrangea, but not really. It's a cheaper version. version of a hydrangea. And these things grow rampant. They took over. They just grow and regrow and regrow. And they're, yeah, you can see here, they're hanging out of the flower bed where they've been cut, and they just drop and they regrow. They're everywhere. And they're a perennial, so they come back by themselves. So I'm not worried about clipping them all away. Eventually, we're probably going to end up getting rid of them all in this bed, or just leaving a few here and there. And these will be, this big old flower bed will be full of flowers, color. As you can see, I can't get it all. See if I can walk back here. But it's actually a big ring all the way around the tree. We're going to fill that up with flowers. So let me flip you around, and we'll get to cutting these down. So I've got more than enough for one right here, but typically we've been using 14 to 17 sticks per trellis. Hey, Renee. All right, so we're just gonna take these verticals. I'm splitting it in between the rows of peas and beans, and I've got them set to where I've got a row planted. There's two like this, and then I'm just putting one trellis in between those, so it's going to catch two rows of beans or peas, or bean and pea, and they'll be able to climb on both sides, and then I don't have to build a trellis for each row. So you'll take your risers, drive them in the ground a little bit. I'm gonna take 5. So what I'm doing is putting one on that end, putting one on this end, then I'll split the difference of those two and put one in the middle. And it don't have to be perfect, just close. You're eyeballing this. Then I split the middle of those two and divide that in half, and put one there. And then I'll split the middle here on this side, and we'll put one there. And so that'll take care of your risers.
Yep.
It'll get something to climb on. All right, so we've got the risers in. I'll try to get to where you can see this, but these are my verticals here. There's no cross members. I just split them in the ground. I put them at the end of my rows, this one here, and then that one over there. And then I just roughly evenly spaced them and shoved them in the ground about 6 inches. Now we're gonna weave in the side rails, and we'll have our trellis. All right, so we're gonna take these cross members, we're gonna weave them in. One thing I am doing is I'm taking the base of the stick and I'm alternating which side I start the bases, because they're a lot more stiffer on the base side, and then the tops are a little more flimsy. And so if you take it and alternate which side you start the base on, it'll help strengthen it as you go up. Let's take this first runner. I'm gonna start with the base end, and I'm gonna pick a side, and then I'm just gonna weave it in and out of the sticks. And of course, now that my hand's tied up, I got stuck on one. And then we're gonna take that first one and just kind of drop it down. It's not gonna be real tight, but as you start building with them, it'll get tighter and tighter. So then you want to alternate this one. This one ended on this back end here. So I'm going to cross this one over in the front of it and then weave through every other one. I have to free up my hand. And then you'll just slide it down to the spacing that you like. It doesn't take much because as you add more sticks, it will get stronger.
Do you want to do every other one, or what do you want to do for the weaving?
What's that? Oh no.
Because you got to do one more, right?
Yeah, I gotta do one more, so I need at least 5 long ones to be kept. Just remember to alternate your base. So I'm gonna start from the base here. I'm gonna weave it in and drop it down. Grab my next one and start from the base on the opposite side. All right, and as you get to weaving them and they start getting on there, you can shift your risers, you know, more vertically, more straight, or fill in any gaps you feel you need to as you go. Opposite that one, just so it'll hold it a little better, because that one was messed up. We're going to take this final piece and put it up top here. Cut off my excess, throw it in the compost. Straighten up my risers where I feel fit. Alright folks, thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, it was just a quick, simple, easy way to build a lattice or a trellis system for your vegetables, your growing vegetables, your beans, your peas, whatever you need, tomatoes. You can build it for anything to help support your plants, give them some support. This is just a perfect, quick, little simple solution to having a trellis. If you don't have nothing to use, if you don't have a cow panel, or you don't want to spend the money to buy a cow panel or fencing or some type of mesh. Again, here on the Homestead, we're all about using what we have, and I have an abundance of those, so that's what I'm going to use. I've got about 4 or 5 more to build, so I'm gonna knock those out. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, like, subscribe, ring the bell for me. Thank you. Y'all have a blessed day.